The buzz of saws, the hum of generators. After the roar of Dorian, this is what Nova Scotians awoke to. And on Halifax's tree-lined and now darkened streets, like on Elm Street, where some of those elms came crashing down, the realization is setting in. It will be a while before they get their electricity back.
I think we're probably one of the worst hit, at least in this area.
At the peak, more than 400,000 customers were without electricity, more than any other storm in this province's history, according to Nova Scotia Power. Extra crews from as far away as Ontario are now on the ground, but it will take days to restore power completely.
We are still in a very dangerous situation in some parts of the province. When there is a downed power line, do not take any chances at all.
In the city's downtown, this construction crane came crashing down during the storm. Now there's a stop work order on the site while officials try to figure out what went wrong.
What I can tell you is the Ministry of Labour has been contacted and they are going to be looking into the details around how and why the crane itself collapsed.
There are no reports of serious injuries or deaths from the storm, but plenty of upset cell phone customers who wouldn't have been able to report a problem if there was one.
Service was spotty. This morning we woke up probably around 7:30 and we had no service at all with Telus and Kudo.
Back on Elm Street, neighbors are making the best of a bad situation. They're finally getting to host their street party, postponed because of the hurricane. And now it's helping them empty their freezers of meat that would surely otherwise go bad.
The neighbors up there had mentioned that it was a good opportunity to get it out, so yeah, because otherwise the freezers were down.
And then tomorrow, they'll be back at the cleanup.
So Tom, you covered Hurricane Juan all those years ago, and I know this storm, Dorian, is dredging up a lot of the memories. Talk to us about the similarities.
Yeah, Hurricane Juan 16 years ago. The thinking on the street now, and you may have heard this today a little bit as well, is that Hurricane Juan may have done a little pruning, shall we say, which might explain why we have seen fewer trees down on the streets of Halifax tonight, although you and I have seen plenty of them and they've knocked enough power out to cause issues for a lot of people. The other big difference this time around was the level of preparation, I think. You know, from the emergency management officials to right through to the power company, the thought was that they had more people, more strategically located in different parts of the province to help cope with this. So the notion was that we were better prepared for this storm. Hopefully that will make things a little better in this province trying to get back to normal.
Just got to get through the next few days.
Let's hope, yep.
All right, Tom, thanks very much. So first sense of what Nova Scotia's infrastructure was up against. Take a look at this. This is Halifax Harbour yesterday. The boardwalk flush with the sea. The water testing the harbour's defences to the limit. The power grid inland didn't withstand Dorian's test, and that is the biggest challenge facing the province tonight. Technicians are working to restore it, and they have some military backup.
You ready to go?
Yes, Warren.
It was when Dorian was still on the way that the province asked for help, and immediately they answered. All told, 700 troops are deployed or are about to be throughout the Maritimes. These reservists are from the 36th Canadian Brigade Group. They are based in Halifax, so this is home they're helping. Given Dorian's ferocity, they were ready to deal with people trapped or stranded or flooded out. Halifax was spared those nightmares. The overwhelming issue now is power. And these are the weapons they need in this fight. Sounds like everyone did very well, though. I mean, we don't hear any reports of injuries.
I think we've been lucky. Maybe the storm has not been as strong as we expected, but still, I think there's a lot of damage that we've been told that EMO is tracking and Nova Scotia Power. So we're still stand by to react and to respond as needed.
And they are already needed. When we caught up with the crews on One South End Street, they were still waiting for the military backup to clear this chaos. It's amazing, the root system that pulls up the sidewalks.
A lot of rock in Halifax,
Okay.
right? So a lot of tree systems are kind of big pans on top of the rock.
And for a city with a tree canopy as impressive as Halifax's, it's easy to see how most customers lost power. Crews have been working since daybreak, and Jason Cochran is the tired choreographer trying to get the right people in the right places. When you look at this, what do you see?
A mess. A tree that size, large elm tree, there's a lot of weight there.
It's hard enough getting to it all, even harder when the roads sometimes look like this. That is the lineup for Tim Hortons, and not the only one like it in Halifax today. Maybe funny from afar, not so amusing to emergency officials.
We can't clear the roads and open them until we can actually get to the roads, and 300 cars at a drive-through right now in different locations is really stopping our progress.
But they are exhausted here. They do need sleep and coffee, and they certainly need their phones charged. Power is everything here. For the moment, let's head outside of the city. South of Halifax, Dorian touched land here near Sambro and all up along the coast to Herring Cove. Communities were staggered by winds and swiped by the storm surge. Jamie Strachan saw the result firsthand.
In the community of Herring Cove, the fury of Dorian has subsided. The sun is shining. It's cleanup day. A powerful surge ripped Tom Rhino's boathouse from its moorings before it slowly sank. It's the most powerful storm Rhino has ever seen here.
Everyone's going on about Hurricane Juan, and is it worse? This was way worse.
The water came quickly and rose even faster. You can see the damage it did to this boathouse behind me and all along this shoreline. But to give you a sense of how high it rose, it came all the way up this hill here and came to a rest just in front of that blue storage shed. All along the coast, there's evidence of Dorian's anger. Wharfs severed, docks reduced to kindling.
It was almost like it was breathing. It was like up and down.
A few kilometers away in the community of Ketch Harbor, John Himmelman says the water just kept surging, wiping away a community wharf that had stood for more than a century.
We could fix it during Juan, but this one, like, it's gone.
The winds were equally as powerful, toppling numerous trees, including this one on John Greer's house.
It was just the soil. You could see it in slow motion. It was like, uh-oh, it's going.
Greer says the most important thing is that nobody was hurt. As for the property damage, he says people will rebuild and move forward. They've done it before. Jamie Strachan, CBC News, Halifax.
Dorian's brute force was felt right across Atlantic Canada. That cleanup, again, likely to take days.
Holy mackerel. That was a hell of a wind there last night.
Across Prince Edward Island this morning, a rude awakening for many. Trees and power lines brought down by Dorian's fury. Roofs ripped off some homes. Even this oversized cow statue couldn't stand up to the storm.
Must have went about 50 yards down the road.
At their peak, the winds reached more than 120 kilometers an hour in the province, forcing the closure of the Confederation Bridge.
There's a tree on fire.
In New Brunswick, Dorian left a similar trail of destruction and tore apart this 43-year-old wharf, leaving it in ruins. It wasn't just the wind. This community east of Fredericton saw some extensive flooding. And this afternoon, Dorian blew right through western Newfoundland, damaging buildings, knocking out power again, winds approaching hurricane strength at times. Now, it's heading towards the North Atlantic.